Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the iceHQ Ice Rink in Reservoir, Melbourne, Australia. I'm Warren Joy, and we will run traditional land for the iceHQ Pro League Summer 2023-2024. I'm Carl Brewer, and joining me once again this evening is none other than Anton Goss, the play-by-play carrier of ill repute, notwithstanding. Tonight is Friday night, and Friday night is hockey night here at iceHQ. It's round 9. It's the dash to the finals, and only 2 teams can make it, and it is this evening the Inferno versus the Dogs. The Inferno find themselves in a familiar position, Gossy. They're fighting to stay in the competition and showing great form at last, which is a bit of a pattern for them, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they did it year 1. Year 2, they last year they took it all the way to the final and stole it off these Dogs. And last week against the Snipers, they pulled off a really big team win, backstopped by the beautiful goaltender Seb Woodlands, who's warming up in front of us.
Yeah, it was a very good game by the Inferno. They had a little bit of a short bench. They had just a 10, so just the 2 full lines. But they played a really strong, disciplined game. Their D were back doing their jobs. They weren't getting caught on odd player rushes. And they just played a really good, solid structure. And the Snipers, they let them get 4 against them, and they only gave away 2. Great job by Georgia Carson in the net, coaching them. She did a terrific job. It was also great to see her playing on the weekend as well for the Ducks team as well. So that was great. But that was a really good game that the Inferno played last week. The question is, can they match it up against the Dogs? Well, to give you a little bit of context, so Gossy, I'm just going to talk briefly about the grand finals. If you're not aware of the structure for it, it's a straight-out grand final this season, 1v2. If the Dogs win or tie in regulation tonight, they're guaranteed a place in the grand final. For the Inferno, a win puts them into second and makes it almost impossible for the Snipers to make the finals. The Inferno lose, and it's still a race to make the finals for both Snipers and the Inferno. A tie in regulation, and it's anyone's race for second spot. So it's on tonight, Gossy.
Yeah, and I mean, if you go back to the last time these 2 teams played, it was the Inferno that jumped out to an early lead. They scored, I think it was 12 seconds into the game. They led 1-0 for a few minutes. They then went down 2-1, and Matt Corona tied it at the end of first, going 2-2 into the second period. But after that, the Dogs just kept on coming. And something that's been a staple for them is always a full bench and always riding those 3 lines and really being led by their top point getters, Vadim Verjasov and Jamie Burke, although split up this season.
Yep, and don't forget Rachinski too. When Rachinski and Verjasov were on the ice at the same time, the combination between those 2 can be absolutely electric. They make space where you'd think there wasn't any, and they've been superb. But for the Inferno, I think Matt Corona has really found some great form. Certainly last week he had a great game. He's just been put onto the Australian team that's playing against Kiwi Tasman Invitational. So too has Vadim Verjasov for the Dogs. So 2 internationals with us here tonight at iceHQ, which is great to have.
I'd argue, I mean, I haven't looked at the New Zealand roster, but I imagine Ryan Ruddle and Kahu Joyce quite possibly lining up on that side.
That may well be the case. But the Dogs, I don't know if they've got a full bench of players just kind of trickling onto the bench now. Inferno a little bit short. I think they've just got 10, but they do have both the Nikitan boys, and they are very effective together. Chris Drake adds a bit of authority in defence. We know he's pretty strong. And, of course, the Magic Hector Rilnick and Sam Hodick will be very challenging to deal with as well. But I think, Gossy, I've got to say, one of the players who's been a bit of a quiet achiever through this series, and I've got a lot of time for him now, Matty Knox in defence for the Dogs. He's been absolutely rock solid. He just doesn't make mistakes. He's in the right place all the time. When he's on the ice, no one scores against him. And the same too with Trevor Leo back tonight for the Dogs. If those 2 can do their job well, they won't be on the score sheet. By golly, they'll make it difficult for the Inferno to score against them.
Well, I have a lot of respect for Trevor Leo. I love what he does out there. Always confident when you're on the ice that he's going to make the right play. I've been proud to backstop a couple of his teams in beer league over the years, and it always feels a little extra safety when he's on the ice, and I'm sure Mikey James feels that way as well for the Dogs.
I tell you what though, Gossy, I think the Dogs, if they do have a weakness, and every team does, occasionally in defence they can get it. Their forwards can get a little bit lazy on the back check at times, and we saw that early on in the season. They've been a bit more disciplined, but also some of their D like to go for high hits and challenge high and get caught out every now and then as well. The Inferno will know that. They've been watching them, and they know it certainly if Karuna or any of the Nikitan boys get behind them, the Dogs will need to be mindful that they don't try too hard to pitch up high. It's spectacular when you make those big hits, Gossy, but if you miss, you give away goals. So
Well,
I think if anything's going to be the downfall of the Dogs, it'll be if the Inferno can get behind them and get them caught on the rush.
I won't say any names, but I did hear from a couple Dogs players this week claiming they're going to have an easy win this week. So
that's a big call.
They think they're going to be able to take it to Matt Corona. But I spoke to Corona after last game, and he hasn't been here for every single one of the games. They haven't been able to string together, their a consistent play with all their players here. And I think coming back after a big win last week,
Corona
I think
and Berkey having a bit of a draw there before we even start.
Yeah, I think there's definitely going to be a chance here to break away. Keys to the game here, I mean, the Inferno really got to try to stop those star players of the Dogs. Raczynski, Burke, and Verjasov have scored a point in every game so far this season. Let's see if they can continue those streaks.
Underway now. Let's see how they go.
And here it's Jamie Burke here on the right wing. He's going to just take it wide, centering it there for Walt, who's back for the Dogs. Former Bruins, Walt and Warren joining the ice here with captain Jamie Burke. It's Hodick for the Inferno that chipped that forward. It hit the stick of Keisha, who sends that over to the captain, Matt Corona, who just sends that deep.
Corona there was being watched closely by Jamie Burke up there on the point. Didn't give any room.
Jordan Warren now with the puck on his stick, carries it in, takes a shot, scores! Welcome back, Jordan Warren, as he goes 5-hole and breaks the deadlock here to open the scoring. 1-0 on Friday Night Hockey at iceHQ.
I think Seb Woodland's a little bit disappointed in that one. There wasn't an awful lot on the shot. It was nicely placed just through the 5-hole. But I think Seb, given another chance, would probably want that one back.
Yeah, you never, as they say, it's never bad to throw the puck on the net. And Jordan Warren able to shoot that one in on Verjasov to get, on Woodlands to get his second goal of the season, and a welcome back there as it's his first game in a couple weeks.
Very nearly a counter goal straight away there by the Inferno, just about catching Nike James on a bit of a spin in front of the net. But now the Dogs get a bit of control.
So battling there behind is Vronek, who tried to get in front, but it was just intercepted there by Raczynski and sent over to the sidewall. Skating out with his Carini, but it's on the stick now of Astafiev as the Dogs enter the offensive zone. Verjasov to Raczynski. Raczynski in front. Oh, and a rebound there by Carini, trying to tip that one in and just knocked wide.
It's an A-grade scoring opportunity for the Dogs and 3-on-2 on the net.
And here's Verjasov, leading scorer, gets it across. Shot by Raczynski, saved by Woodlands. Rebound is there, and the whistle blown as Woodlands came up big with two Dogs on the doorstep trying to pound away and get that puck into the back of the net. Look at that. Nice big pad there, pinned on the post.
See Casey Minson just grabbing hold of Elise Carini's stick there and taking it out of the game.
Here's Walt now out with Ruddle and Stringer as that one trickles in on Woodlands and he covers up.
Speaking of the Kiwi squad, we do have Ryan Ruddle at the moment on the wing, looking like he's trying to get that quick shot away. Leo circling around high and Bennett pinching in tight for the Dogs.
Well, here's Stringer walking off the half wall, but then puck knocked off his stick by Hodick, and the Dogs now regroup in their own zone. Here with Walt as he skates over, just drops that pass. He's being watched by the young Alexi Raisman, and puck comes to the point, but kept in by big bad Ryan Bennett. Puck now back with Leo. He's being watched by Corona, but it's collected again by the Dogs as they now escape their zone. Into the offensive zone is Walt. He's poke checked by Keisha. Back to Walt, who brought it through the legs, and a rebound shot there by Ruddle, steered aside by Woodlands. And Caruana sends that high into the neutral zone.
Nice little backhander there by Ruddle. But, Seb Woodlands had his pads down and kept the door shut.
Puck deep in the Dog zone. First one back to it will be Trevor Leo. He's got plenty of time and space as he just waits up and sends that down, but no ice. As first to, it's the goal scorer, Jordan Warren. He waits for his teammates to join the attack, but is pushed back into the neutral zone where he'll regroup. Here's with Jamie Burke, who just chips it forward. He's got his line straight to the net. Shot saved by Woodlands. Rebounds there. Burke tries to knock it off the back of Woodlands, and he's down, and now they score. Walt in front of the net after a pass by Jamie Burke puts the puck in the back of the net, and the ex-Bruins have two as Warren and Walt double the score here. 2-0 for the Dogs.
It's obvious to say, but the Inferno not the start they would have wanted. The Dogs, you could see Berkey was just kind of circling around waiting for that outlet pass, and he got it. Created a little bit of time and space, and then took advantage of some confusion in front of the players tumbling all over the top of each other. Almost surprised there wasn't a penalty called on that one, but in the end, no penalty. The referee allows the game to keep going, and the Dogs get another goal.
Well, with that goal, Jordan Warren gets his second point of the game, adding an assist to his goal as Seb Woodlands covers that one. And Jamie Burke continues his point streak, now up to 6 games in a row, one in every single game this season.
Well, he's been a bit hungry for goals, Jamie. He hasn't been on the same line as Vajasov, and we know how well those two combine, but I think the decision to put Vajasov and Rachinsky on the line at the same time has been excellent for the Dogs.
And here's Burke now with it. Passes it back there to Robertson. Robertson back to Burke on the backhand, shovels it on net, stopped up by Woodlands, but there is going to be a high sticking penalty here on against Jamie Burke by Adam Harper as he tried to contain the Dog superstar.
Yeah, I don't think it was intentional, but he certainly did score Berkey in the face with a bit of a butt end or a stick blade. So the Dogs go to the first power play of the night. If you're looking at the statistics on the iceHQ's hockey site website, just be aware that the numbers for we suspect the power play numbers there are a little bit misleading. But the Dogs here will get a chance to put one on the board. They've got to watch out they don't overcommit.
This power play has been hot, though, for the Dogs. They really look for that cross-seam pass from Jamie Burke on the point through over to the other side to Vajasov, which scored a couple goals last time these two teams played.
Berkey is unmarked out there on the other side.
So here it is, and now he's going to look back to give it back to the Estonian. Just their wind-up shot, like on cue. It's in the slot area and doubles it up. Jordan Warren with no one around, able to tap that one in. So we see Vajasov add to his point streak, and Jordan Warren's up to 3 points tonight already. What a game.
Jordan having a blinder there. That's a combination. You can see Jamie Burke sitting out in the Alex Ovechkin memorial position, just waiting for a shot. What the Inferno need right here is a bit of Bruins magic, and I'm talking about the Boston Bruins. They got 2 short-handed goals in the first period today. Gossi, I don't know if you saw them.
I did.
Give Vancouver a bit of a spanking, but they did.
Look, I mean, I know these guys probably don't tune in as much as we do to these games, but that play right there, Berkey over to Vajasov, we said it just before it happened. It happens every time on the power play, and it seems to not be able to be stopped as it just works every single time.
That's where the Inferno need to get more active sticks and try and tie them up. It's an easy thing to say.
Here's Carini, who evades the check of Drake and collects it now in the corner. He walks out, team up 3-0 here early in the first period. Rebound tip! What a save there by Woodlands as that changed directions at the last second.
No Cahill there with a big shot out from the blue line. It was well timed.
Puck's now back. It's to Astafiev, back to Khalil, who takes a shot on, blocked there by Woodlands. Freight Ray does have quite a rocket. I've had a few of them off the mask in recent weeks.
It's getting a little bit infamous around here in the beer league.
But
notwithstanding.
Puck sent out now into the point area, but kept in by the Dogs. It's Astafiev who sends that deep. Nathan Keisha will get there first for the Inferno. And Corona's off to the races, but a great stick there by Ray Khalil to block that. Otherwise, the captain of the Inferno was going to be in all alone.
Yeah, Ray was there on his own. It was a well-timed pick.
Hodick is
lucky to get away
tripped
with
up, but no penalty there. He knocks on the glove, but no hand pass, as now Caruana is able to get it in to the Dog zone. Puck's rimmed around. It gets straight to Vajasov, who's just forced back into his own zone.
He's been on the ice a long time now, Vajasov. It's well over a minute this shift. He'll be looking to get a change. Yep, there he goes.
Comes right onto the net, and Seb Woodlands covers up as Walt comes in. Speaking of long shifts, did you see that shift by Jack Hughes the other night?
I confess I didn't.
6 minutes and 51 seconds. Longest shift in NHL history. He played 7 minutes and 51 seconds of the last 8 minutes of the game.
A nice shot there from Ryan Ruddle from the shot in.
So puck now just comes out of the corner, and it's picked up here by Hector Vilnek, who sent it up there for Nikitin, who comes in with his brother. It comes across over to Harper, who's in the box for that power play goal against by Jordan Warren. Here's now with Stringer, number 19, leaving it up there for Walt. Walt gives it back over to Ruddle, who takes a shot, looking for a deflection by Stringer, but now collected by the flying Frenchman as he sends it up to Nikitin.
Nice piece of space creation there. Ruddle was well clear and had a good spot.
Tim takes the shot on and gloved down by Michael James as he makes his 3rd save of the game.
So with 8 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the first, the Dogs out to a 3-0 lead, 14 shots, 4 against the Inferno. The Inferno will need to tighten up their gaps in D and see if they can get past the Dogs. Had a couple of opportunities so far, but not able to convert them.
Puck's in the corner here. It's with Lockie Walls. Just rims it forward out of the reach of Raisman. Nice one-touch pass by Warren. Finds Carini, who comes in, takes a shot, saved by Woodlands. Bouncing puck, pushed into the corner by Hodick, and he evades the check by Carini and finds a little bit of space and takes it. Hodick out for the Inferno. Tries to go through the legs of Robertson, but Robertson outsmarts him and is able to get it as far as only the point. Keisha just chips it forward there for Hodick, who then recycles that behind the net, and the puck does eventually squirt out past the stick of Drake. Drake was looking to give it up to Keisha, but that was sent by
They'll go for icing
Walls all the way.
Yeah, Walls, you could see a little bit disappointed. His pass was straight to one of his teammates, but unfortunately missed both skates and his stick and went all the way down the other end for an icing. If you're not familiar with the rule, if you play the puck from your own half of the ice and it crosses the goal line at the other end without anyone touching it, it's brought back for an icing. You can beat the icing, but in that occasion, no one was going to. And the Inferno with an offensive zone face-off, can they make it into a goal?
Puck deep, it's Nikitin who just sends it back behind the net for Frelnick. He's going to try to center that one, and puck comes out back on his stick as he curls away. He's got Nikitin there, but a great active stick by Walls sends the puck the other way, and first to it is Jamie Burke, so icing is waved off. He stops behind the net, looking to center it. Comes out now, he's got time. Finds Warren, takes a shot, Walt, and that was saved nicely by the shoulder there of Seb Woodlands.
Minson just lost sight of that there. There was an opportunity for the Dogs.
Here's the speed of the Nikitin brothers now as Keisha Vrelnick supports. It's with Tim here, looking for brother Matt, but intercepted. And puck sent back to Astafiev. Nice one-touch pass from Rachinsky, who leaves it, gets it back from Verjasov, and a rocket just goes above the net.
It's that almost ESP communication between the two. The way they pass to each other is just magic.
So Rachinsky just head up, has it on his forehand, looking for a pass, recycles it for Verjasov, who tried to give it right back to Rachinsky, but instead decides to steal it right back off Drake. Verjasov, stick handling in a phone booth, gets knocked over, it comes onto the stick of Rachinsky. He curls away from 3 Inferno players, and eventually Frelnick gets it, but gives it right back to Verjasov. Verjasov off the back of the net and finds Rachinsky, but Seb Woodlands covers up, and he's seen enough.
Great sustained pressure there by the Dogs. That Rachinsky and Verjasov combination, honestly, Gossi, I've got to say, it's one of the best we've seen here at iceHQ. They have an absolute sixth sense for where each other's going to be, and just their communication is superb.
Well, the addition of Rachinsky just, it's elongated the lineup. It's added to the depth here for the Dogs. Him being able to play with Verjasov opens up Burke to move down into what you'd call the second line, I guess, and play with Warren and Walt. Now you just kind of got 1A, 1B, 1C if you're the Dogs.
3 on 2.
Here it is. So leading points in the league right now is Verjasov, who's hit right on the numbers, and the hand went up immediately as Keisha is going to be going for boarding. Just turned at the last minute, Vadim Verjasov. He's a shifty player. You can see this on the CCM all-out replay. Just went to, shield himself from the puck, and Keisha came in and just hit him on the back of the shoulder there and threw him into the boards. And the Dogs will go to their second power play of the game, already 1 for 1.
And that's always the risky take when you go to put pressure on someone close to the boards. If they turn, you've got to make sure you don't hit them.
So face-off 1, it's power play 2 out on the ice here for the Dogs, and it's with Stringer, who has Graham out in front, but walks in front of the net himself, and down was Woodlands and was able to make the save as the Dogs walk straight out.
This the second penalty power play line for the Dogs. We've not seen this combination before in the start of it. Berkey being a little bit generous.
Puck here to Ruddle. Ruddle with a shot on. Rebounds there. It's loose. Down is Woodlands, and with the puck is Stringer. Stringer is going to get it back to the point for Graham, who's just going to look for an open player. He'll send it back on the half wall there for Stringer. Down to Ruddle. They'll recycle in the position. Comes back to Graham. He's got a shooting lane with traffic, but deflected wide there by Harper. On it now is Carini, who just chips in the far corner there for Ruddle. A minute left here on the power play. Graham curls away there from Nikitin, who still stays with it, and Harper does get the puck out, and you can see the Dogs, PP1, are ready to jump on the ice as soon as the players come for a change.
There might be some magic here now. As soon as Vajasov gets back on his feet, just blew a tire there, but now he's got Burke and Raczynski.
So here comes Jamie Burke winding. Nice pass over to Verjasov. We spoke about that connection on the last power play. He sends it back to Raczynski, back to Verjasov. Burke activates off the point. They find him, and he swings and just missed on that one as those two nearly connected again. Puck centered. Raczynski fans on that one, but it is going to make its way over to Verjasov. He gets it back to Burke. Nice one-touch pass over to Walt. Walt over to Verjasov. Verjasov, Burke. Burke winds down to Verjasov, intercepted by Drake and sent down the length of the ice.
Drake with a nice clearing shot that runs the clock down a little bit, takes a little bit of pressure off the Inferno. The Dogs looking to break it out again with this line so far not able to score, and that concludes the power play for the Dogs.
So here's Burke, sends it forward. Nice move by Raczynski. He backhands that one. It's high and wide, and that's going to allow Hector Vronek to get it forward over to his captain. The Inferno in. It's Corona. Corona takes it wide, takes a shot, and off the shoulder into the netting as Michael James comes up big as the Inferno tried to create some offense following the power play.
Walt there saw the threat there too for the Dogs and put his body in the way. And, just denied that opportunity, but in the end, just enough to create a defensive zone face-off for the Dogs. Watch how the Dogs set up, and also watch too where the Inferno D pop themselves. They're coming in a long way from the blue line, and the Dogs sneak out past them. I don't think they will here. I doubt that Nathan Case will get caught out by that. He's sitting back and watching for the counter-attack. Puck down deep in the corner for the Inferno. They take the shot across the front. Without it pops now,
and here comes
Stringer
Stringer using his speed. Keisha's watching him. It's centered in front and poked away there by Drake, but kept in here by the young Russian Astafiev. He sends that deep behind the net. It's going to be collected there by Graham. He's being watched there by Keisha. Recycles that behind the net, and Stringer lays the body on Hodek. Alexi Raisman not able to get that wide, and calling for it is Ruddle, and he breaks his stick there as he tried to one-time it, and he heads off and elects to stay on the ice as Verjasov had to jump back onto the bench.
I'm not sure about the rule. If you break a stick, you're required to immediately drop it. It stays on the ice. So Ruddle staying on the ice as to defend. He saw the rush coming and figured he needed to defend it. But he'll get a change as soon as he can, and there he goes.
Now onto the ice is Verjasov, as he just collides with Raisman there in front of the bench. A stretch pass over to Caruana, though. He's all alone as he waits for Nikitin and pinches it over, but a great active stick by Walls. The second time he's blocked that up with his long reach. Robertson feeds it forward to Carini. The Dogs now on the attack. Stopping up, it's over to Verjasov. He shoots, but a glove save there by Seb Woodland stops the attack, and that should be it for the first period.
Not only that, but also the referees now finally get a chance to clean up and get that stick off the ice. So at the end of the first period, I don't think we're going to get this face-off with just 2 seconds to go on the clock. So we have 2 goals to Jordan Warren and 1 to Josh Walt, taking the Dogs out to a 3-2 lead at the end of the first. Penalties in that period, we had 1 to Harper for a high stick on Jamie Burke and 1 Nathan Kacher. So 2 penalty kills for the Inferno, 1 which did result in a goal. It was a beautiful piece of play by the Burke and Vajasov combination, which works so very well on their power play for the Dogs. We will have a nice cut. We're going to cut to an interview very shortly. Gossie's just running over to try and pick up a player and have a quick chat with them after that game. So far, 2 shots on the net. It is 21-5 in favour of the Dogs, which pretty much does reflect the lopsidedness of that particular period. The Inferno will have a break. They'll give them a chance to regather their thoughts and work out what they're going to do, and it looks to me as though Berkey has Jordan Warren, who's got 2 goals so far, that we're going to get an interview from in just a moment. So as soon as they're ready, we'll cut over to Gossie and Jordan Warren.
Alrighty, thanks, Carl. I'm with leading goal scorer tonight, right? Jordan Warren, a couple of Genos, an apple, all over the score sheet. Like, what was for dinner tonight?
Didn't actually have my first meal until about 5. Tough day at work. But, you know, when Vadim doesn't show up, someone has to show up for the dogs. You know, and with Vadim having a terrible night tonight, I told him I wasn't going to make fun of him, but he's playing terrible. So had to step up, score a couple goals in his absence.
Yeah, well, I mean, the goal scoring list on Hockey Site, it looks like all Bruins, right? You with a couple and Walt with the other one. Obviously, with that team folding this season, both you guys made it over the Dogs. What's it like playing in the black jerseys?
Yeah, you know, I'm proud to be on the Dogs, but I knew in the summertime there's a little bit of collusion. We were built for the future, the Bruins, and they saw a dynasty coming, and we just didn't bring the fans in the way the Dogs do, so they had to do something about it. I'm happy to be on the Dogs, but I'm a little sad still that Bruins team didn't become the dynasty they should have.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, good drafting last year. I remember chatting to you after the draft, but they obviously look to love to have you guys here, up by 3, looking like to continue your dominance. What do you guys think? You think there's a little bit of a challenge coming from the Inferno for the rest of the game?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the shots are going to finish 63-15, so I'm sure they might bounce back a bit. Short bench, they got their legs under him now. I'm sure Mac will pot 1 or 2, so we got to keep it going.
Yeah, beautiful, Jordan. Well, thank you for the chat, and good luck the rest of the game. Hoping to throw a hat on the rink a little bit later.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you very much, Anton and Jordan Warren, for that quick chat and just that little bit of sledging against his teammate. Vadim Vajasov does have 1 point so far, and it's an assist on a goal to Jordan Warren. So I think they're helping each other out there, and it'll be interesting to see how Vajasov and Raczynski in particular in the second and third period start to combine. They were dangerous through that first, couldn't actually make the penetration that they wanted, but they certainly created lots of opportunities, time and space. The Inferno with a bit of homework to do in the break. They've got to just own that space in front of the net, and then they'll be a bit more competitive through the second and see if they can get behind the Dogs' defence. The Dogs' defence so far has been resolute, and they haven't made too many mistakes. So if they can keep that up, this could be a challenging game for the Inferno. We'll be back with you in 10 minutes.
Confidence.
Where does it come from?
Why do some have it more than others?
How can young players find it?
How can beer leaguers get more of it?
How can pros keep it?
It comes from being 100% comfortable with your gear.
Because it's only when your gear feels just right.
Do you have the extra confidence to go all out and play to your fullest potential?
CCM knows that when you feel your best,
You play your best.
That's why they design, engineer, and test
the smallest details to feel just right.
So when you lace up your skates,
Put on your helmet,
flex your stick, or put on your pads.
You might not know why it feels right.
And that's okay. Just know that CCM does.
And they got the art down to a science.
So now everyone can feel more comfortable wearing CCM gear.
And feel more confident in taking their performance to the next level.
When you feel your best,
you play your best.
because when things feel just right, who knows where your best will take you.
This game is our canvas.
Our choice, our freedom.
It's my way.
And mine.
And mine.
And mine.
It's the only way.
The ice doesn't discriminate.
It doesn't see color or gender.
All it sees is 60 minutes of pure effort.
A pure fun.
On the ice, we might be enemies. But in the end, we're all allies.
This game's for everyone.
No matter who you are,
No matter where we're from, we're all ready to hit the ice.
Confidence.
Where does it come from?
Why do some have it more than others?
How can young players find it?
How can beer leaguers get more of it?
How can pros keep it?
It comes from being 100% comfortable with your gear.
Because it's only when your gear feels just right.
Do you have the extra confidence to go all out and play to your fullest potential?
CCM knows that when you feel your best,
You play your best.
That's why they design, engineer, and test
the smallest details to feel just right.
So when you lace up your skates,
Put on your helmet,
flex your stick, or put on your pads,
You might not know why it feels right.
And that's okay. Just know that CCM does.
And they got the art down to a science.
so now everyone can feel more comfortable wearing CCM gear.
And feel more confident in taking their performance to the next level.
When you feel your best,
you play your best.
because when things feel just right,
Who knows where your best will take you?
This game is our canvas.
our choice, our freedom.
It's my way.
And mine.
And mine.
And mine.
It's the only way. The ice doesn't discriminate.
It doesn't see color or gender.
All it sees is 60 minutes of pure effort.
A pure fun.
on the ice, we might be enemies.
But in the end, we're all allies.
This game's for everyone.
No matter who you are,
No matter where we're from, we're all ready to hit the ice.
Confidence.
Where does it come from?
Why do some have it more than others?
How can young players find it?
How can beer leaguers get more of it?
How can pros keep it?
It comes from being 100% comfortable with your gear.
Because it's only when your gear feels just right.
Do you have the extra confidence to go all out and play to your fullest potential?
CCM knows that when you feel your best,
You play your best.
That's why they design, engineer, and test
the smallest details to feel just right.
So when you lace up your skates,
Put on your helmet,
flex your stick, or put on your pads,
You might not not know why it feels right.
And that's okay. Just know that CCM does.
And they got the art down to a science.
So now everyone can feel more comfortable wearing CCM gear
and feel more confident in taking their performance to the next level.
When you feel your best,
You play your best.
Because when things feel just right,
who knows where your best will take you.
Welcome back, everyone, to the iceHQ ice rink here at iceHQ, strangely enough, in the Reservoir, Melbourne, Australia, for period 2 of round 9 of the iceHQ Pro League 2023-2024. We are watching the clash between the Inferno and the Dogs, and so far, Gossie, it's been all Dogs, isn't it?
It has, and if you are a fan of the league and been following along for multiple years, you might think it's been all ex-Bruins, as all 3 goals were scored by the 2 ex-Bruins on the Dog side.
But have a look at the
between
assists.
Warren and Walt. But as you said, the assists coming from the regular suspects. And if you're following along with the stats this season, Jamie Burke with 2 apples today continues his streak of having a point in every season, but now sits 1 point ahead of his teammate Vadim Verjasov, who also extended his streak from the beginning of the season with his assist on Warren's second goal of the game, the 3rd of the night.
Well, good credit to the Inferno. They managed to deny the Dogs their second power play goal, so good work from them there. I'm sure Georgia Carson, their coach, will have done a good job of just trying to screw their heads on and get them a bit more composed. In that first period, shots on the net was very lopsided towards the Dogs. 5 shots to the Inferno to 21 to the Dogs, so 4-1 out shooting on the net, and that translates ultimately to a high percentage of shots going in. Every time you put a shot on the net, you're rolling the dice. The goalie influences that, of course, but and so too does the quality of the shots. But ultimately, the more shots you get on the net, the more likely some of them are to go in. So just getting a bit of an issue here on the ice looked at.
Yeah, the Dogs, they score. They've averaged 5.4 goals a game this season, but they're also backstopped by Michael James, who has a sparkling .952 save percentage. But Seb Woodland's down the other way. He faces a lot of rubber. Already 130 saves this season. Yeah, 30 better than the next one on the list.
He's certainly done a man's job throughout this season so far. We're about to get underway in the second. The Inferno will want to get back on the board pretty early, get themselves an early goal and get their heads in this game.
Well, you heard what Jordan Warren said in the interview in between the first and second. The shots aren't going to remain this way. There will be a push by the Inferno, and maybe it starts here with Captain Matt Corona. Nice move, cuts forward, takes a shot, and scores! Just like that, it's another ex-Bruin, Matt Caruana, the captain of the Inferno, puts his team on the board seconds into the second period.
Just 15 seconds in, and the Inferno on the board, as you say, Gossie. Matt Caruana with a beautiful move, got around everyone. He got around Lockie Walls there, surprisingly, and made them all look a bit silly, and danced the puck over Mikey James, and a goal on the board for the Inferno. That'll get them on their toes.
Well, Jordan Warren probably a little tongue-in-cheek there talking about building for the future, but if tonight's anything about it, we've got 4 goals in this hockey game, and they all come from the ex-Bruins. And Seb Woodlands takes a little tumble there as the Dogs were crashing through the crease, and that could have been a little bit dangerous had that net knocked off.
No foul or anything in there in that play, but just a brief stoppage. That's while they replace the nets. And we'll have a face-off now. Watch to see where the Dogs' defence put themselves. So we've got Lockie Walls creeping in on the boards, but
Jamie Burke directly behind Walt, so Walt's most likely going to try to win it back for him and get a quick shot on.
A little bit of a reminiscent of an American football move there, and he does. Wins it back to Berkey.
Now it comes over to Robertson, who takes a shot, deflected, saved by Woodlands. Comes off the wall, but Walls is there. Passes it over to Walt. Robertson's calling for it, and he finally gives it over to him. Nice one-touch pass through the crease. Eventually gets to Burke in the corner, who gives it back to Walls. Back to Walt. It is 5-on-5, despite the cycle started here by the Dogs, and it's the 2-goal scorer, Jordan Warren, trying to get off the wall, but he's intercepted by Drake, and that's shoved forward. Out comes Michael James just to keep that away from Hodick.
Mikey James with a sneaky little backhand pass there, very adventurous for the goaltender.
Puck now to Hodick, back in front, but intercepted by Walls. Nice forecheck there by Hodick. Tried to give it in front to Caruana. Tried to chip it there to Raisman and takes down Walt as he's looking around. Where's that penalty? And Jamie Burke says the same thing and can't believe it. But the Inferno have it on their stick, and a shot on deflected just wide. I think the Dogs probably had a little claim on that one. That definitely did look like a trip on Walt, but here's Burke. Burke takes it wide, cuts in front, but couldn't chip it past the pad of Woodlands.
Of course, the best response the Dogs can give to what they thought was a penalty is to score a goal, and they're in a good position now setting up for it. They've got some play, but not complete. Yeah, we have
knocked down by Caruana. He gives it up to Hodick into the offensive zone. A high pass, just knocked down by Caruana, but chipped forward by Carini, only as far as the Inferno defense.
Inferno wisely just driving the puck in there. They needed to get a change, so they just flung the puck in deep. Jasov looks like maybe he needs a skate sharpen. He hasn't quite been on his edges as much as I'm sure he'd like.
Puck's now in the corner, collected by the flying Frenchman, and just give it back to Minson, and tried to give it right back, but Carini is going to get there first for the Dogs.
Ray Calais there, just putting a pass on to his defensive partner there under a bit of pressure, and we have a hand up. Someone's going to the box.
Looks like the Dogs will be Maxim Astafiev. Just thinking who got that other apple on that. They've credited to Harris Ananda, but I don't see Ananda on the bench for the Inferno. So a phantom assist for Harris.
Possibly the numbers were read upside down, but it was an interesting pass there. Ray Cahill with a pass across to Astafiev under a lot of pressure, which was an interesting choice for him. He might have been better off playing the puck up the boards.
So first power play of the game here for the Inferno, desperate to get back into this lead. And a shot on, deflected by Bennett wide. Raisman gets it back to Drake, who winds, gives it right back down to Hodick, but collected here by Raisman. Back to the point to Drake, down to Raisman, who just leaves it there for Hodick and goes back into the corner. Raisman now has it on his forehand, fans on that one, chips it now in front, and Leo can only get it down behind his own net. Nathan Keisha, who's pressured forward, has it in the corner, gives it over to Caruana, but just missed his stick, so Hodick has it on the point. Back to Caruana, who scored the goal early to start opening this period. He walks into the center, gives it back to Hodick. Hodick keeps it away from Graham there, walks in and chips it back to Caruana. Drake activates, and Caruana gives it down to Hodick. Now throws it on and tried to catch James cheating, but he had the pad down and is able to cover up. Good power play.
A lot of puck movement there by the Inferno. Not many shots on the net, though. They'll need to sort that. A couple of times there, they might have had an opportunity to get a shot on. Hodick was in good position at one point for a tip-in and very nearly got it. Not a bad power play for the Inferno, but they will need to get their puck on the net. They've only got a few seconds left to go on this power play.
So face-off was won by Walt, and that was Walls rimming it around over to Jamie Burke, who gives it back up to Walt. So short-handed, here come the Dogs. Comes in on Woodlands, and with Walt ready to pounce on it, he's forced to cover up, and that's going to kill off some more valuable seconds on the power play. Only about 30 seconds remaining.
The drop of the puck here will be down to below 20, so we'll be back to full strength very quickly. This is where the Inferno will need to be careful when the Dogs will need to be careful. The Inferno player sneaks out with the penalty immediately behind the kill.
So face-off one, and it's the flying Frenchman coming down the wing. He winds, centers it, looking for Nikitin, and that just missed him. Picked up now by Matt. It comes to Vrelnik. Calling for it over there was Minson, and Astafiev's out of the box. So we're back to 5-on-5, but it's on the stick of Vrelnik for the Inferno as he gets rubbed out there by Robertson.
Minson a bit lucky there. They didn't elect to take the pass to him because it would have been taken off him straight away as the puck goes up into the net. And we will get a restart in a few seconds. But there, you can just see that the danger of the player coming on after the back of the power play when it's over. They sneak in behind you. Minson was on the blue line calling for the puck. And Astafiev was going to take it right off him if it had come up to him. So it happens to everyone at every level, Gossie. You get caught unawares by the player coming in out of the penalty box.
So this line has looked really good, and Jordan Warren now riding shotgun, centering Verjasov and Rachinsky. Just jumped over the two-goal man there, and it's on the stick of Minson here for the Inferno. He sends that deep. Out comes Michael James, and he has a foray in with Walls and creeps back into his crease. Rachinsky can only get it to the point, and Harper sends it deep for Matt Nikitin, looking for his brother Tim, but missed him, and the Dogs now will get it out through Verjasov. An errant pass goes down the length of the ice, and Warren tried to chase that down, but Harper back first, and we'll have a face-off here to the left of Michael James.
Harper with a good read there and getting moving early to make sure that the Dogs couldn't clear the penalty, couldn't clear the icing. If a attacking player gets down there, gets down the other end and wins the race to the puck, or at least what the referee thinks they would by the face-off dots, then you can wipe off the icing, but not that time.
Oh, stolen there by Verjasov. Out comes Woodlands, who fans on that one, but it's going to work as Drake was right there to support. Pinned up there by Warren, who sent it down to Verjasov, intercepted by Caruana, and the Inferno not able to get out through Raisman. Whew. CNI shot off the shoulder there of Woodlands, and the Inferno now out through Hodik. Pinned up by Raczynski. Ray Khalil gets it back to Keisha. It's with Raisman. Fans on that one. Shot in now by Keisha, and blocking arm save there by James to send it over the net. Raisman goes back to Drake. Inferno just regrouping here, deflected off Caruana, deep into the corner. First back for the Dogs is Khalil. Left, stolen here by the Inferno, thrown on, and a stick save there by James. Nikitin sends it deep. He was trying to find his captain, but it was intercepted by the always silky Vadim Verjasov. Astafiev, who was sitting that penalty for the Dogs earlier with it on his stick. Raczynski back to Verjasov, tries to center it, and a good stick lift by Nikitin, but eventually Astafiev able to throw it on, and a big save there by Woodlands able to cover up.
Smart move there by Astafiev. He was under a lot of pressure, and the Dogs had all gone in deep. He did the right thing by throwing the puck high and forcing the goalie to make the catch. Stops the game and allows them to get a reset. Because if the Inferno had got out behind them in that instance, and there was a real chance that was going to happen, it could have been an odd player rush on Mikey James, which he would not have been happy about.
So here they come. It's Harper, the Inferno, down by 2 here. Winning 1-0 in the period, though. Puck's forward here, and Nikitin gets rubbed up there as a big battle goes in the corner, and they throwing at each other as they now start having a little bit more, as Nikitin took exception to the rough play there by Bennett. You know he's not going to turn down any fisticuffs. Referees can't separate these two as they just want to go for one another. And eventually...
There's going to be some time in the box for these two gentlemen.
Yeah, they're a good job by Farello and Wally there to get on the big players, as Bennett and Nikitin there were definitely ready to throw some haymakers.
Not quite sure exactly what led up to that, but Bennett with a big grin on his face. We know he's quite partial to throwing the body weight around. That's really his game plan. But he's going to sit as to Will.
Yeah,
Matt Nikitin, which is a loss for the Inferno there, I have to say. They don't want Nikitin off the ice. So maybe a strategic move there by Bennett. And we'll wait and see what actually gets handed out to them. Are they going to get 2 for roughing? Or possibly more? We'll know in a minute.
I've got to say, of all that, I'm most impressed with Mark Farello, who was able to contain Ryan Bennett as he had to jump on his back and haul him down.
Well, Mark Farello, no stranger to ferocity on the ice as well. He's one of our linesmen here tonight, and a very experienced and capable official.
So it looks like Ryan Bennett's going to get the extra 2, and that explains the start of that kerfuffle, as he gets 1 for elbowing as he threw the elbow on Nikitin, and that started the fisticuff. So the Inferno back to the power play, 0 for 1, although they did have some good offensive pressure as they moved the puck well on that first power play.
Well, they did, and Berkey's still a little bit concerned about that, discussing with the ref, but the game will be underway very shortly. The clock, of course, ticking down. Every second that goes off the clock works for the Dogs. Not that the penalty has started yet, but they do have a 2-goal lead, so it doesn't really worry them if the clock ticks. They can delay the game as long as they want. The Inferno, on the other hand, they want to get it going, and get it going quickly. Try and get that goal real fast.
Despite what it says on the screen, it is a 5-on-4 power play here for the Inferno. In the face-off 1, Hodik battles with Walls, and in comes Stringer to pick it up, and he'll look to give it over to the Kiwi, Ryan Ruddle, but just sent that a little high.
It's a good chance now for the Inferno to get some space and break in. Got Rilnex floating around behind the Dogs' defence, forcing them to have to keep an eye on him. He's offside, but that movement just forces them to have to think twice.
So here they come. It's on the stick of Caruana. He's poke checked there by Robertson. calling for it is Minson, and it does find its way to him, and he chips it back to his captain. Caruana just walks off. He's got a lane now, takes it behind the net, still on it. It's going to give it back to Minson there on the point. Minson down over to Keisha, working on the half wall, head up, can't find a lane, and just chips it back there for Caruana. Hodick drops it again for Caruana, being hit hard there by Ruddle, and out comes Hodick as he's able to keep that away from the Kiwi. Pass in, Caruana short, it's loose in front, activating off the point. The puck's now through the crease, and Keisha able to collect again for the Inferno. So some good offensive pressure here, 5-on-4, as the Inferno are starting to heat up. It's Keisha, stopped up on the half wall, down to Vrelnik. The flying Frenchman brings it back up to Minson, over to Hodick. Hodick on the point, drops it there for Keisha. He's gonna walk out and give it across, and a one-timer there by Hodick comes onto the stick of Minson. Minson centers it, intercepted by Walls, and chipped out to the line, but not out, and Stringer now will give it over to Ryan Ruddle as the Dogs will do their best to change.
Dogs desperately needed a change. They've been stuck in a defensive press for a long time. Great work with active stick though on that penalty kill. So far the Dogs have not been scored on.
So 14 seconds remaining on the power play, so the Dogs player will be coming out of the box, but it's on the stick of Harper now, who gets it back to Hodick. Hodick's got a shooting lane, and he shoots in, and a big glove save by Michael James, and that will be it for the power play as the Inferno were hot, but not hot enough as they go 0 for 2.
So Bennett and Nikitin back on the ice. Their penalties both served.
Be interesting to see what happens with that and if there's any more to it as the game extends. There's just under 4 minutes remaining here, and the puck is deep in the Inferno zone as they've been able to claw one back but still trail by 2. It's Hector Frelick in the corner, being watched by Walt. Astafiev comes in for support, and now Walt is able to get it across over to Jamie Burke. 2 assists on the night. Jamie Burke's just going to skate in and throw that on, and deflected in the corner by the Inferno. Harper just watched by Burke. It's centered in front of Walt. Walt shoots, and a stick save there by Woodlands. Jordan Warren, 3 points on the night. He's been active on all goals, battles in the corner, and rubs out Nikitin, and it comes back now to Astafiev, who winds, takes a shot, and it was deflected by Warren, but into the chest of the netminder as Seb Woodlands comes up with a big save here to keep his team only down by 2.
Just over 3 minutes to play in the second. The Dogs 3, the Inferno 1. Shots have squared up a fair bit in this period. The Inferno have had much more of it to go, including that goal in the first 15 seconds by Matt Corona.
So face off here to the left of Woodlands. It's won by the Inferno. That was Nikitin there, and Frelink comes in. He sends it up on the wall and just chipped forward there, and here comes Tim. He's got brother Matt crashing the net. He looks to center it, and just stick lift at the last second there by Carini, but the Nikitin brothers will continue their work down low. It's chipped forward, and Hector Frelink just loses that one. Matt takes around, shoots, and Tim just shot that one wide. Dogs now have it through Achinski as Carini and Astafiev join the rush. Verjasov enters late and gets it. Another drop pass there for Achinski, and he comes off the wall. Comes into the slot area, chips it down. Robertson, blocker save. They shoot, puck's loose and cleared there by Minson as the net was knocked off there, and it looks like there may be a call for delay a game. Let's see what the officials have there.
We might not see this on the replay. I don't think we'll get the coverage for it. But that one point there, we had 5 Dogs right in very, very deep. So
Casey Minson's going to go for knocking the net off as Robert Love is claiming that's a delay a game as there was a grade A scoring chance ready to go in the net.
What was happening there was the Dogs had massively committed to that attack. We had 5 of them in deep, Gossi. I don't know if you noticed it. But if the Inferno had been able to get the puck, there would have been absolutely no one between them and
so
Michael
they're
James. But,
had a little chat with the linesmen. They're saying no delay game, so they will go back to 5-on-5. So
well, that delay did delay the game.
2 minutes to Robert Love for the discussion. The referee got to sit for 2.
Dogs still just changing lines again, just getting a bit of composure, switching it up. You see the D pinching in close. They're getting quite aggressive.
So puck's there. It's on the stick of Hodick, who is looking to center that to the Inferno teammates.
Just under 1 minute now to play in this second period. Dogs still with a 2-1 lead. as they go and pull out the puck out the back of the neck and try and run it around. Finds Vajasov, flicks across, but not able to complete it. Hodik now for the Inferno tries to find his captain Karuna, who circles around. There's a bit of space for them, but it's picked off nicely by Walls.
Down goes
the back of the net, crashes into everyone.
Yeah,
Finds a puck around. He's got Vajasov up on the blue line, but he's covered by Drake beautifully there.
Nice stick and big hit there by Nikitin, and the puck goes deep. 20 seconds remaining. And it looks like we'll go to the break with the Dogs up by 2.
Chinsky now looking to pass up the ice to Vajasov for the last dance of the second period. Vajasov takes the puck around the front, but it is intercepted by Drake, cleared out. And here comes Jamie Burke, gets a shot away, but just fans it just a smidge wide there. Berkey would have been a little disappointed. I think he thought that puck was going in for sure, but for sure it didn't. And at the end of the second, it was a good period for the Inferno. They certainly squared up the shots on the net there and also got that early goal, but the Dogs' defence after that mostly resolute. A couple of little penalties there, Nikitin and Bennett for roughing, and then Jordan Warren with 2 for an elbow as well. But shots on the net there in the second period, just showing you the change in the slope of the ice. The Inferno 9 shots to the Dogs 4, so that period certainly did favour the Inferno, a good period for them. Can they back it up in the third and get another goal early on and really make this into a contest? Haven't really seen Vajasov really sparkle today. He's pretty good, but he hasn't. Him and Raczynski haven't yet to tickle the twine. We're going to cut over now to an interview with Alexi Raisman right now.
Alrighty, thank you, Carl. I'm here in between periods with Alexi Raisman. Big period for you guys. You won the period, right? Won 1-0 off a great goal by Mac. Definitely starting to, draw the bridge there with the shots. What's going through the team? What are you guys doing that's working in the second versus the first?
Just getting pucks deep, I guess. Skating hard, just playing simple hockey. Yeah, that's about it, really.
Yeah, man. I mean, you're another young player coming to the first season here in the pro league, coming up from the junior league as well. What adjustments have you had to make in your game to play at this level?
I've had to play a little less physical because these guys are a lot bigger. So I've been not really holding back, but just trying to figure out what hit to make and what not to. And obviously, I'm skating a lot harder. Game's a lot faster, a lot more physical. Just picking up the intensity, really.
Yeah, well, you were looking really great on that power play. You guys were moving the puck really well, cycling it down. Pretty unlucky to go 0 for 2 so far, but definitely seeing some improvements. I think, what do you think? You think you guys have it in you to claw back and get some points out of this game?
Yeah, obviously. You got to believe, So, yeah.
Awesome, mate. Well, we can't wait to see it. Go into the room, chat with Coach, and we'll see you after. Thanks, Lexi. Cheers. Back to you, Carl.
Thank you very much, Gossi and Alexi Raisman there, telling it like it is and giving us all the hockey cliches. Get the puck in deep and play simple hockey. If only it was that simple. But thank you very much, Alexi, for the talk, and welcome to the Pro League. It's great to have some of the young guys getting their experience at this level. And as he points out, it's not just a question of matching the intensity, but you've got to be careful with what commitment you make to what sort of body contact. If you overdo it, then you can end up taking yourself out of the game, or at least out of the play. And there's not much of a margin for error. Let someone gets behind you and it creates scoring opportunities that you just can't afford to do. So at the end of the second period, not quite a do or die for the Inferno, it's still on for them, but if the Dogs do win this one, they are through to the grand final without a doubt. 3-1 the lead to the Dogs. We will be back with you in 10 minutes.
Confidence.
Where does it come from?
Why do some have it more than others?
How can young players find it?
How can beer leaguers get more of it?
How can pros keep it?
It comes from being 100% comfortable with your gear.
Because it's only when your gear feels just right.
Do you have the extra confidence to go all out and play to your fullest potential?
CCM knows that when you feel your best,
You play your best.
That's why they design, engineer, and test
the smallest details to feel just right.
So when you lace up your skates,
Put on your helmet, flex your stick.
or put on your pads,
You might not know why it feels right.
And that's okay. Just know that CCM does.
and they got the art down to a science.
So now everyone can feel more comfortable wearing CCM gear.
And feel more confident in taking their performance to the next level.
When you feel your best,
you play your best.
Because when things feel just right,
Who knows where your best will take you?
This game is our canvas.
Our choice, our freedom.
It's my way.
And mine.
And mine.
And mine.
It's the only way. The ice doesn't discriminate.
It doesn't see color or gender.
All it sees is 60 minutes of pure effort.
A pure fun.
On the ice, we might be enemies, but in the end, we're all allies.
This game's for everyone.
No matter who you are,
No matter where we're from, we're all ready to hit the ice. Confidence.
Where does it come from?
Why do some have it more than others?
How can young players find it?
How can beer leaguers get more of it?
How can pros keep it?
It comes from being 100% comfortable with your gear.
Because it's only when your gear feels just right.
Do you have the extra confidence to go all out and play to your fullest potential?
CCM knows that when you feel your best,
You play your best.
That's why they design, engineer, and test
the smallest details to feel just right.
So when you lace up your skates,
Put on your helmet, flex your stick.
or put on your pads,
You might not know why it feels right.
And that's okay. Just know that CCM does.
And they got the art down to a science.
So now everyone can feel more comfortable wearing CCM gear.
And feel more confident in taking their performance to the next level.
when you feel your best,
you play your best.
Because when things feel just right,
Who knows where your best will take you?
This game is our canvas.
our choice, our freedom.
it's my way.
And mine.
And mine.
And mine.
It's the only way. The ice doesn't discriminate.
It doesn't see color or gender.
All it sees is 60 minutes of pure effort.
A pure fun.
on the ice, we might be enemies, but in the end, we're all allies.
This game's for everyone.
No matter who you are,
No matter where we're from, we're all ready to hit the ice.
Confidence.
Where does it come from?
Why do some have it more than others?
How can young players find it?
How can beer leaguers get more of it?
How can pros keep it?
It comes from being 100% comfortable with your gear.
Because it's only when your gear feels just right.
Do you have the extra confidence to go all out and play to your fullest potential?
CCM knows that when you feel your best,
You play your best.
That's why they design, engineer, and test
the smallest details to feel just right.
So when you lace up your skates,
Put on your helmet, flex your stick.
or put on your pads,
You might not know why it feels right.
And that's okay. Just know that CCM does.
And they got the art down to a science.
So now everyone can feel more comfortable wearing CCM gear.
And feel more confident in taking their performance to the next level.
When you feel your best,
you play your best.
because when things feel just right,
Who knows where your best will take you?
Good evening and welcome back to the iceHQ ice rink here in Reservoir, Melbourne, Australia for the third period in this battle for points between the Inferno and the CCM Reservoir Dogs. It's 3-1 the lead at the end of the second. The first period was all Dogs. They're blown out to 3-0 in the first one. Karuna, Warren and Walsh doing all the damage there. But in the second, Matt Karuna scored back very quickly at the start of the second period and brought it back to 3-1. And the ice tipped the other way. At the end of the first, shots on the net was 9-24 in favour of the Dogs. A massive margin. But at the end of the second, it was 9-4 in favour of the Inferno. So the Inferno getting the same number of shots on the net as in both periods. But the Dogs shut down from 24 to just 4 that the scorers saw. Now, of course, what the scorers see and what's reality, there's always a little bit of difference there, and it's not the most meaningful statistic. It does tell you a bit about the way the game was flowing. And Gossie, this one's going to be an important one for the Inferno. If they can get early point, get an early goal and really put the pressure on the Dogs, then they give themselves a good chance. And if they can get out to this game to a tie at the end of regulation, then it makes the situation very interesting indeed. The Dogs, whether or not they tie at the end of regulation or win the game, will end up guaranteed in the grand final. But if they lose,
then
all three of the teams can still make the grand final.
Well, it opens up a big game.
It does.
Between the Inferno and the Snipers in a couple weeks. The Dogs obviously host the Snipers next week, but then the Inferno and the Snipers will play, which might be a winner gets in, depending on how the results go.
There's 2 more games.
If you wait, though, and look to last week, it was the second period where the Inferno awoke, and the match was lit, and they stormed home with 4 unanswered goals. They started this game with the second period, Matt Corona, the captain's goal. Let's see what else the rest of those players can have. Are they going to say what Alexi Raisman said and get pucks deep and get pucks on and get pucks on the net?
Play simple hockey.
Only way to find out is to stay tuned, and it's now deep in the Inferno zone. Seb Woodland's out there to play it, and it comes over to our interviewee, Alexi Raisman. Puck's now out. It just squirts into the neutral zone and sent right back into the Inferno zone, but from the wrong side of center. So we'll have an icing, and the Dogs will be forced to retreat into their own zone.
If you're not also familiar with the other rule about icing, which if you only play the beer league here this season at least, you won't be familiar with, but next season you will when the rules change. You're not allowed to get a change when you have committed the sin of icing. So the Dogs have to stay out in the ice. They haven't been out for very long, so it doesn't matter in this occasion, but it does mean that if you desperately clear the puck down the other end to get a change, you can't.
Here's Trevor Leo, who's just tried to go D-to-D, but a good forecheck there by Caruana. Keeps it in for the Inferno. Leo does eventually, though, get it out to the Kiwi Ryan Ruddle, who tried to find Graham. Leo activates and gets it deep. Back to it, though, is Drake, being watched there by Stringer, and it's now on the stick of Alexi Raisman.
Raisman tried to chip it past Ruddle, but he just got to stick onto it.
Does come fortuitously to Matt Caruana, being watched by Bennett and hauled down, and Ryan Ruddle able to clear that down the length of the ice, and it will be for icing.
Well, you'll see a bunch of the Dogs there trying to go over to the gate, but it's been called for icing. So both Bennett and Leo were trying to get a change, and the linesman standing right there saying, no, sorry, boys, you have to stay on the ice. They wanted the change, now they're tired. This, Gossie, represents a great opportunity for the Inferno. Watch for the Dogs to try and get a quick change.
It'll be a big face-off for Matt Nikitin, who will look to just win it back over, and it was won by the Dogs, but a good job by Tim to come in and tie up Trevor Leo, and his brother comes in for support. So Inferno get it out of the corner. Leo, though, stole that, and it will get out through Ruddle as they cross the red line and dump it in, and the defensemen peel off for a change.
Bennett gets the first change.
Ruddle threw his body onto Harper, and it does come out to Hector Frelenk, and he's 2-on-3 with Tim Nikitin going to the net. Robertson wins that battle one-on-one in the corner and is able to rim it around. Comes out to the point and does squirt into the neutral zone. Jamie Burke stole that one. He comes in on Nikitin, walks out in front, takes a shot, and scores! Jamie Burke extends his lead a point, the league leading stats, as he scores the Dogs first and opens the scoring in the third period.
Jamie Burke there sauntering in. It's a classic move for him. He's just got that beautiful quick release on the shot. The goalie doesn't see it coming. Not quite sure when the puck's going to come away from the stick, and he just fires it. And he's one of the most prolific goal scorers in Australian ice hockey, and that is why.
He's one man you don't want to be facing one-on-one as a goaltender, as I have done on a number of occasions. So here it is. It's on the stick of the goal scorer as he chipped that forward to Walt. All three of these forwards on the ice now here for the Dogs have a goal. Warren with 2, Walt with 1, and Jamie Burke with the most recent. It's on the stick of Matt Corona, who has the 1 for the Inferno, as he wasn't able to hit Hodik, and this is going to allow the Dogs, but intercepted. Keisha activates, watched by Wall, centered in front, and Raisman just not able, gets it out in front, and a big save by Michael James, as Raisman was able to center that one and not able to go through. Check this out on the CCM all-out replay. Raisman centers that, and it was Caruana just took it looks like a deflection of the stick onto his face.
He's got an injury over in the corner. It looks like it is Caruana, and he's very slow getting off the ice.
Yeah, he went to take the shot, and it looks like a stick just came up and hit him in the chin there, and it's Walt who's going to be going to the box for 2 for high sticking.
It's not an intentional foul in that instance, but if your stick makes contact with an opposition player, it's an automatic 2 minutes if it hits their head, and if it draws blood, it's an automatic 4 minutes.
That was a good play there, and you saw Caruana on the bench just patting young Alexi Raisman on the forehead. They did get pucks deep that time, and they did get it on, but just not in the net. But the Inferno come to their third power play. They've had great offensive pressure, but haven't been able to score. Puck stolen, though, by Verjasov, and nice back check by Frelank, able to keep the Inferno going the other way. It's with Hodik just behind the net now. Comes out of the corner. He's on near side half wall, still has it on his stick. Passes it over there to Keisha. Back to the point for Drake. Bobbles that one, able to send it back to the Frenchman there behind the net.
Drake was in great position there to get that reversal. I had all the dogs going one way, and Drake just couldn't quite get a handle on the puck.
Drake back to Frelank and keeps it away from Astafiev, gives it back to Drake. Drake just chips it, a stick there by Astafiev, not able to knock it away from Hector Frelank. There is Astafiev drops his stick. The puck does squirt out into the neutral part of the zone there, but collected by the Ducks and now, by the Dogs, and now dumped out. Verjasov goes down. There will be a penalty against the Inferno, so that'll end the power play as Sam Hodik wasn't able to contain the Estonian there as Verjasov strong on the puck and draws a penalty here with just over 12 minutes remaining in the third period.
We'll have about 40 seconds or so of 4-on-4, and then the power play will go instead to the Dogs. We've seen how effective that is. It'll be interesting to see how the Dogs will line up. They've got 4-on-4. They've got Jamie Burke on for that one. They're going to want to organise how they're going to structure their 5-on-4 power play. So we've seen it very effective when they've got Verjasov and Burke on at the same time.
Burke stole that, and it goes through the legs there, and he has it on his forehand. Just throws that one on, bobbling puck. Rachinski there, but it's collected by Caruana, and he evades that check, and the Inferno go the other way. It's 4-on-2. Caruana walks, shoots, scores! Just like that, the captain, Matt Caruana, scores his second of the game, 5th of the year, and draws one back as the Inferno now trail by 2 with 11 minutes remaining.
That goal might just count as a short-handed goal as well. It depends on when the goal was scored, but the Dogs would have been getting a player coming back on. And, interesting to see if that one gets counted as a short-handed goal or a 5-on-5.
They're sending Walt back into the box, so it would have been seconds before the
so he will be coming out on the drop of the puck. So it counts as a short-handed goal.
So there we go. It's now 5-on-4 as Walt enters in. So that goal 4-on-4. Matt Caruana, his second of the game.
So the scoreboard just lagging a little behind. It is now 2-4 in favour of the Dogs. So the Inferno still well and truly back in it. They've got Warren just floating around deep looking for that stretch pass.
On the power play, and here comes Walt dropping it for Verjasov. He sets up in the corner. Burke just directing traffic, and Rachinski now gets it up at the tee. Down to Burke. Burke back in front. Walt winds, shoots, just misses wide.
What was a lot of time there in that slot position. Inferno need to tidy that up.
Verjasov walks out of the corner. He's on the top point now. He's got Rachinski there, but chips it down to Warren. Warren back to Verjasov. Verjasov to Rachinski. Burke is calling for it, but it goes back to Verjasov. He does give it across to Burke now as the Keaton exit the box. We're 5-on-5 now. Warren centers it. Walt's not able to connect. Warren collects again. He tries to walk out of the zone, but the puck was stolen by Hodik, who exited the penalty box, and a big slash on Harper, and he is not very good. You can see him go right off, dropped his stick, clutching his arm. He does not look to be in a good way.
That's Warren who is being escorted to the penalty box. And Harper doesn't look very pleased as well. He's gone straight off into the rooms. Hoping, of course, that he's all right.
Oh, you can see that. There was quite the chop down on the arms by Warren just on the side of the net there. Not sure what instigated it, but he'll be in the box for 2 as the Inferno try to get back in. You might see it on this CCM all-out replay. Yeah, just right on the fingers.
So now the Inferno with the power play. Can they get the goal on that they desperately need to get themselves in this game? 2 goals the margin at the moment in favour of the Dogs.
Oh, and the puck just got past Drake, and Corey Stringer, the one of the quickest guys on the ice, challenges forward, but Drake came back well and breaks his stick. So momentarily it will be 4-on-4 or 4 sticks on 4 sticks, 5 players, as Drake not able to get back. But Hodik does a good job there just to evade the oncoming check of Stringer. Stringer, though, ties him up and kills off a few more seconds here. Drake's going to the box to get a stick and instead changes with Minson. Comes up to Tim Nikitin, who has the puck knocked off his stick by Lockie Walls. Puck sent behind the net, and Minson not able to get it, and Robertson now does get it to the line, but not out as Hector Vrillink does well to keep that one in.
Great piece of hand-eye there by Hector. He realised the risk and had to contain the puck.
They do now get it out, but only as far as Keisha, as Ryan Ruddle battles hard on him. Nikitin gets it to Ruddle, and Ruddle just dumps it deep. First to it will be Hector Vrillink, and he just puts that one away from Raczynski.
Just under 45 seconds to go on the Inferno power play. I don't think they've got a shot on the net yet.
No, not quite the offensive pressure we've seen on their previous 3. So puck's now deep, 36 seconds remaining. Keisha just pinned up there, and Ryan Ruddle comes out with the puck, but just errantly passed it right to Caruana, and the Dogs do get it out, but only as far there as Minson, who takes a tumble, and this is going to squirt into a dangerous area. Carini just not able to get it past Nikitin, and this is going to send the Inferno the other way. Keisha to Caruana, back to Keisha, intercepted by the Dogs and sent down the length of the ice, and that should do it with only 5 seconds remaining on the Jordan Warren slash.
And we are back to full strength now, 5-on-5. Car play over for the Inferno as Warren comes back on the ice, looking for a pass, trying to get behind the Dogs' defense. So
kept in momentarily by Caruana, but the Dogs out, and it's now with Warren, who winds, and nice stick there by the defender, Nathan Keisha, to deflect that into the netting.
And that puck looked like it wanted to end up in the bar. A big crowd here tonight at iceHQ. We've got a grandstand full, pretty much a full line of bodies around the western side of the rink, and the bar is full. So good turnout here for the Pro League this evening. Friday night is hockey night at iceHQ.
If there's been one thing against the Inferno, oh, Hodik absolutely drilled Leo right here at the point as they score. Jamie Burke puts it top shelf over the shoulder, and he immediately celebrates with Trevor Leo, who absorbed that hit and allowed Burke to get the shot on, and Jamie Burke's having a bit of a party, 4 points tonight.
I've got to suggest that one was more than 3 steps in the direction, the Australian line of Trevor Leo. You could suggest that may well have been the charging, but I think the goal is sufficient justice for that anyway. And the Dogs out now to a 5-2 lead with just over 5.5 minutes to play in the third.
Take the check, but make the play. What a job by Trevor Leo, who will grab an assist on that Jamie Burke goal, his second of the game, 4th point. And Burke now with a shot, blocking arm save there by Woodlands. Here come the Inferno through Keisha. Shot on, save by James.
You can see Bennett just in that play, trying to make that mid-ice hit. Sticks the hip out, and he's a big boy, and it's a big hip. But if you miss, and he did miss on that occasion, and he does open that opportunity for a shot once people get past him. But hoping, of course, that...
Can we take for a second just to rewind a little bit? That was a big hit by Hodik. You don't see him throwing the body often, but he just came straight for Leo.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, Gossie, that would have been called charging in most leagues. More than 3 steps in the direction. You are allowed to run into people. You're not allowed to line them up for a distance.
Burke winds, shot!
Run straight at them.
Blocked there by Minson. So Jamie Burke trying to get a hat trick. He's been more of the assist man so far this season. He leads the league in assists with 11. But has 2 goals tonight. Trevor Leo takes a tumble in the corner there as he battled with Nikitin. It's now on the stick of Jamie Burke as he comes the other way. He's with Warren and Walt. Warren and Burke both on 2 goals. Can Walt find one of them?
The good news is Harper's back on the ice and seems okay.
That's good to see. And it's here with Matt Nikitin, who sends it right on net, but Mikey James able to cover up.
We now have 4 minutes and 10 seconds on the drop of the puck, or maybe less. We'll be into the CCM Final 4 for this particular game. So at the moment, the Dogs with 5-2 lead. They've outshot the Inferno 8 shots to 7 so far in this period, as the Inferno will need fairly shortly to do something drastic. Will they pull their goalie? when they throw caution to the wind. But the problem is, when you do that to the Dogs,
could be up in the back of your net.
They end up with some pretty good goal scorers who do like to get free.
Well, here comes Hodick, who laid that big hit on Leo moments ago. He gives it over to Caruana, who's got 2 goals tonight as well. Chips it forward, looking for Hodick, but just missed him. Hodick throws the body now on Robertson, and Caruana goes down, and we're going to have a penalty to Vadim Verjasov as the Inferno go to their 5th power play. If there's one indictment on the team so far today, it's definitely that they're 0 for 4 so far tonight. And the Inferno really need to heat up on this power play now if there's going to be any chance of them catching the Dogs.
With 3 minutes to go and 3 goals to square it up, the odds are not in favour of the Inferno. Not that it can't be done. Boston scored 2 goals in 10 seconds this afternoon. I don't know if you noticed that one, Gossie. It was quite impressive.
I think it might be the 2nd or 3rd time you've mentioned it on the broadcast. So if I hadn't known, I definitely know now.
Where's your Leafs tie, Gossie?
Yeah. Hey, we beat the Stars.
You beat who?
First team in the West. So here we go. Puck's deep in the Dog zone. That was Mikey James coming out, and the Dogs looking to clear that over to Stringer. And if you're going to put a foot race on, you don't mind if Stringer's the guy chasing down for your team, and he wins that puck off Keisha.
There was no icing on that anyway. The Dogs on the penalty kill.
So Ruddle just regroups back to Walls. Walls over to Robertson, back to Walls, over to Ruddle. Nice passing play here for the Dogs. The Kiwi comes in, looks just to center that in, and Seb Woodlands comes out and knocks that away.
In case you're wondering, watching this game, it is actually the Inferno who are on the power play, and the Dogs who are supposed to be on the penalty kill. Doesn't look like it with that last 5 seconds of hockey.
Well, a minute left here, or a minute gone if you're the Inferno. And Nathan Keisha just shoots that one into the bench, and I think they were wondering what that was all about.
I don't think he meant that either. He's just, oh, whoops, that wasn't meant to happen. Keisha saw that one of his teammates was offside, just trying to beat the puck in. But as a result, he was just trying to turn around and buy himself a bit of space and flung the puck a little bit high and ended up in the Dogs' bench, which could be cause for a bench clearer. But in this particular occasion, I think everyone realised it wasn't intentional.
Yeah, I mean, with Harper getting slashed, Hodick laying Leo. Oh, and the shot saved there by James, his best of the night. And now Berkey comes the other way. He's joined with the other 2-goal man, Warren, on the ice. He takes it wide, now curls from behind the net. He's being watched by Nikitin. When brother Matt gets it, he's got Tim's forward, and now here comes Tim Nikitin on a breakaway, alone, shoots, rings it right off the iron.
I think
as the Inferno not able to score.
Woodlands may have got a hand on that one as well and just deflected away. We're back to 5-on-5 as Vajasov back on the ice with Burke. It's 2-on-2, but Vajasov and Burke on 2-on-2.
Line shot, scores! Out of the box and into the net. Vadim Verjasov extends the lead as he scores off a beautiful drop pass by Jamie Burke, his 5th point of the night.
That's a 2-on-2, which looks more like a 3-on-2 or even a 2-on-1. Vajasov jumped straight out of the box with a point to prove. And him and Burke barreling in on the Inferno defenseman, just looking up thinking, what are we going to do here? And they created space and a beautiful shot from Vajasov to take it out to a insurmountable now 6-2 lead to the Dogs.
So that should be it for the result.
The last 10 seconds of the game is the last dance now for Karuna. Has a shot, but it just sprays a little bit wide, and that is just going to run the clock down in the corner as Leo ties it up for the Dogs. And at the end of the game, we have a convincing 6-2 win to the Dogs, which if you're looking at points on the ladder, takes the Dogs out now to 11 points on the score, which means they cannot be knocked off the top of the ladder. The maximum points anyone else can get now is the Snipers, who could potentially get 9 points. So the Dogs are now in the grand final, no matter what happens, but the race is absolutely on for second place. There's only 1 point between the Snipers and the Inferno. Snipers with 5 and Inferno with 4 are all tied up with 2 games for the 2 teams to play before the end of the season. Shots on the net in that third period, a much more even period all round. It was 8 shots to 9 shots in favour of the Dogs, but towards the end it opened up for the Dogs, with Jasov getting on with that beautiful goal with Berkey, with just a couple of minutes to go when he came out after the penalty, and it was a beautiful goal for him. So Burke with 2, Vajasov with 2, Vajasov with 1, Karuna with 1, Warren with 2, and Walt with 1. So goal scoring party there. Matt Karuna did get 2 for the Inferno, including that one absolute ripper right at the very start of the second period, which was a magnificent goal. It's not quite showing up properly on Hockey Side at the moment, but I'm sure that will get sorted out very soon. So the ladder, the Dogs now guaranteed a place in the grand final. Good game for them, very dominating performance in the end. That first period did all the damage. They took it out to a 3-0 lead, and the Inferno from then on were always chasing. It was a tight second. It was won by the Inferno, 1-0, but not enough for them to claw it back. And in the end, as we say, the Dogs had the run of the rumble and took the points. Just waiting now for Gossie, who is going to be getting an interview with what looks like possibly Jamie Burke. Let's see if he gives us, get pucks in deep, get pucks on the net. Will remain to be seen if he fires that one at us again. So we're going to cut over just about now to Gossie with Jamie Burke. Eventually.
Alrighty, Carl. I'm here with captain and leading goal scorer tonight, Jamie Burke of the Dogs. What a breakout game for you! I mean, 5 points tonight. You're well atop of the point stats right now, taking that off your buddy Vadim. What was going through the head for the team today?
I think we just came out with a lot of energy and just we started off strong. We just had to finish it. So second period we slowed down a bit, and we caught straight back up into third and picked up where we left off. So it was good.
Yeah, I think a lot of fans probably a little bit surprised when the season opened up and you guys dropped that one in the shootout to the Snipers. But since then, I mean, you guys are averaging over 5 goals every single game. Mikey's being big in net, defense looking good, and it looks like you guys are having a lot of fun. Like, what's the dressing room like?
Yeah, it's great. We got a good group of guys, and we just keep it fun, keep it light, but at the same time, go out there, try and win every game. Everyone does their job, so yeah, it's great.
Well, you guys are now easily the most successful club in the competition. With that win, you guys are making it to the big dance, which you guys have made all 3 seasons. Obviously, you guys won it the first year. Last year, a little surprise upset. You think you guys have the squad to do it all?
Well, that's the plan. We've got to just keep doing what we're doing. Come into finals. If we play like we did tonight, I can't see us having any problems. But you know, both of these teams are still a very good chance of keep beating us. So got to keep our heads screwed on and keep going.
That's the beauty about hockey. It's anyone can win on any night. If you guys keep playing the way you are here, you give the fans something fun to watch. So keep it up, Jamie, and go celebrate with the boys. Thank you. Back to you, Carl.
Thank you very much, Anton. And of course, Jamie Burke there telling it like it is for the Dogs. Jamie, one of the best, not only hockey players, but also he's responsible for the makeup of this Dogs team. He's captain and master of the draw. One of the things that he points out, which is so important every single time the Dogs have played here this season and the last season and the one before, they've had full benches. They pick teams that not only have lots of talent, ability and work well as a team, but also they all show up. And that makes such an enormous difference through a long season like this one. So at the end of this game, the Dogs now insurmountable lead on the grand. They will make the grand final. The battle is still on for the second place in the grand final between the Snipers and the Inferno. Both of them can make that final game. There's only 1 point between the two, and they have 2 more games to play against each other as well. So they've got plenty of opportunities to get those points back. Our next round will be here on Friday the 16th at 7:30 p.m. and it will be the Snipers and the Dogs. The Snipers will want to get that point up on the Inferno and give themselves a better chance of getting through the grand final. The Dogs, well, it depends who they want to play, but they're a team who will play for pride and for the scoreboard and for each other, so they will want to win it as well. It'll be on there, absolutely. So the next round will be on that Friday the 16th, Friday the 16th of February at 7:30 p.m. Snipers versus Dogs. Gossie and I, we can't wait to bring it to you. Bring it on.